Welcome! In this video I want to try deploying PHP on AWS Lambda and respond to WebSocket events. Lambda has, with API Gateway, has a way of natively supporting WebSocket connections without running any server, and for a long time I wanted to give it a try. So let's do it. So what I wanted to do is, let me show you the really small page, really very basic. It's basically a clap counter, and I want that to be available in a live stream where people can clap and see everyone's clap in real time. So obviously when it's finished, there will be a much better visual design, of course, but today I want to focus on the PHP backend. So I want to handle serverless events with a PHP backend. First, what I did is create a serverless.yml file using bref, using vendor bin bref init. In that file, I added everything I need to use Dynamodb. So when you use WebSocket with API Gateway, you have to use a backend to store the connection IDs. It sounds complex, and at first I was kind of confused, but it's actually simple. You need to keep track of everyone that is connected to your application. And that connection ID is provided by API Gateway. So we'll see if it's complex, but I think it should be okay. So what I did here in serverless.yml is I created that Dynamodb table. Here I will be able to use it from PHP, and I added permissions so that PHP can write and read from that Dynamodb table. And then I now need to write the Lambda function. So it's the first time I'm doing that, right, with Lambda and WebSockets. So I've been following a contribution by Danny, who implemented WebSocket support in bref, and since he done that, I thought it was really awesome, and I wanted a reason to give it a try. So let's go. First, we need to configure which events will trigger our code. With HTTP, we usually set up a URL, so that our code is called via URL, but here with WebSockets, we need to define events. So there's the connect event whenever someone connects to the WebSocket, disconnect and default. This is like the event bus where all our personal custom messages will be sent. So that's the backend part, and whenever there's an event, it will trigger our Lambda. Now what Danny contributed was a really nice typed handler. So I will try to use that. WebSocket handler. And we'll go from there. Come on. Beginner mistake. There we go. So whenever we handle WebSocket events, we have to implement that, extend that abstract class, and implement the handle WebSocket function. In there, we get not an HTTP request; it's a WebSocket event, and I don't even know what that thing contains. So what I like to do is simply call event and then see what comes up. You can get the body, API ID, so that's the ID of our API gateway. That's the connection ID we will use in Dynamodb to store everyone connected. And then it was really nice because he added an example in the pull request. So what we'll do is we'll copy all of that and have a look at it. So we will need the Aws Sdk because we will be interacting with Dynamodb. Okay, it's indexing. So we're creating the Dynamodb client, and then depending on the event type from WebSocket, it can either be connect, disconnect, or any other kind of message. So whenever someone is connecting, we need to store its connection ID in Dynamodb. Right? Oh, that's not the official. He wasn't using the official SDK. He was using the async AWS SDK. So this is an alternative SDK, which is not official, but is much lighter. And that's actually a really good reason to use it. There we go. So whenever someone connects, we need to insert in Dynamodb the connection ID along with the API ID and region and stage, although all of these, they are fixed. I could hard code them, but anyway, we'll store them. Whenever someone disconnects, I need to remove the entry from Dynamodb. And you may be wondering, why do I need to do that? And this is where it gets useful. So whenever I have an event, I want to broadcast messages from PHP, from the backend, to everyone connected or to specific clients connected. And I do that using the connection ID. So what he implemented here is a ping. Whenever one client connected sends a ping, I can send back to every other client a ping response back, a pong, like a chat. And that's actually very close to what we want to do. So the idea is whenever someone in the web page clicks here, it sends an event to the Lambda function via the WebSocket, and that event will be redispatched to everyone viewing the same page so that the counter will increase for everyone, right? So whenever I get like a clap message, we'll call that clap message, I will go through everyone connected. So that's the table name. I need to change that because my table name is WebSocket connections. Okay, it's selected everywhere, changed everywhere. Okay. For everyone connected, I get the connection ID, I create a WebSocket client, and I send a message. I don't send pong, I send clap, and everybody will receive a clap message. I'm not sure why. I don't think we need that. That was just for the example. And then we need to close the switch. And I think we can return an empty body. Okay. Now, if you've never used Dynamodb, you may be wondering what that kind of object syntax, like what is this? But this is the complex way of using Dynamodb. We can use the marshaller class, marshaller like this, I think, and it automatically takes care of setting up the type. So this is a string type, and it simplifies a lot interacting with Dynamodb, but I don't want to spend time on that yet. I will simplify that later. For now, I want to deploy that and see if it works. What I'm afraid of, however, is I would be running my web app locally and calling the remote API, so I'm afraid about CORS. So I want maybe to enable CORS. Yep, there we go. I'm not sure if CORS apply to WebSockets. I think so, but just to be sure. So I think we are good. Just for clarity, I'll remove that here because it will apply to all functions, and that's much simpler. And that one will be the WebSocket. Just WebSocket. Okay, let's deploy that. Just to make sure while it's deploying, I deployed in the Paris region because this will be an app used by French people, so it needs to. I want it to be close to users. I'm using the stage, the production stage, because I don't intend to have multiple stages like dev, staging, and prod. So I'm going straight to production, and the rest is pretty standard. Those are the permissions, the Bref plugin. Oh, I have a mistake here. The joys of YAML. Now, while it's deploying, we will be able to follow the deployment. I'll just wait for the stack to create. And what we can do here is add just a little bit of style. And I'll run the live server. Yeah, it's just a little bit bigger. Okay, so this will be the web app. Now, of course, this needs to interact with the WebSocket, right? Let's have a look. So this is what Danny suggested to use. A really simple way to use WebSockets in JavaScript, so I will try to use that. At the moment, this is a Vue.js application. This is a button. Whenever I click that, it increments a counter. So I'm not sure yet how to merge the WebSocket thing inside Vue.js. I will need to update that URL, and anyway, it's still deploying. Unopen sockets and ping. So this is what I need to move inside here, and I will send the clap message. And on message, okay, so that's interesting. Whenever I receive a message, I will log whatever I receive. That's good. And I will, can I call the method or clap or I'm not sure how to increment the value. View access property. Yep. Sounds like what I need. Okay. Actually, I would rather use methods. Oh no, I don't want to use a component. Maybe we can just receive clap. Let's give it a try anyway. Okay, it has deployed. Perfect. This is my WebSocket URL. I'll use that here. And okay. What do we have? Oh, it's just working. So let's just confirm it works. I will open that in a new private browser. Oh yes, it works. That was so easy. Now obviously, if I have a new window, I don't get the counter, but that's okay, because what I want to do, I don't want really to store the number of claps. I want to show visually a clap, a clap emoji whenever someone claps in any tab. So that should do it. Really, really nice. Okay, so a bit of explanation of how it works. Because this is pretty interesting. If you've done WebSockets before, you may know that the way WebSockets work is that you have a server somewhere that, unlike HTTP, it's not stateless, it's stateful, which means that this browser page on the right side is connected continuously to the WebSocket server. And the same here, we have on the left side, we have this web page connected to the web server, to the WebSocket server as well, and this one too. So we need connections that they stay connected as long as the page is open. And that doesn't really work with AWS Lambda, because AWS Lambda runs code whenever there's an event, doesn't run code all the time. And what's great is that API Gateway has a WebSocket feature, and basically API Gateway takes care of maintaining the connections between the browser and API Gateway, and it will trigger Lambda only whenever there's an event. So that's why in our Lambda function, we receive an event, and it's either a new connection, a disconnection, or an event sent from a client. Like here, we send clap, and it's received here. And so that's really great, because we don't have to do the whole wait, the whole persistent connection thing. We just write code that runs whenever there's an event, and we don't care about the rest. And I love that about API Gateway. So I think that's about it. Now my job will be to make that into a really nice interface, and hopefully later integrate that with Twitch as a Twitch extension, so that maybe people can clap from the Twitch chat and see the claps in real time on Twitch. So that will be really awesome. So thanks for watching, and I hope that you found this really interesting as well. My goal eventually is to add a new chapter to Serverless Visually Explained with an example, like a downloadable code example around WebSockets. At the moment, there isn't an example about WebSockets, but you can find examples about HTTP applications, SQS queues, as well as event bridge, file uploads on S3, creating websites, storing assets, webhook, whatever. You have many things in the course. So if you're interested, please check out the course, and in any case, I'll see you some other time. Thanks.